is Mark DeChant, Senior Vice President at Finally. So, hello.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Mark DeChant from Finally, and I usually wouldn't talk too much about my background, but I have such a passion for everyone in this room and for this company. I've been on a mission to find Finally, literally. So I was a staffing agency owner way back in the day. I worked for a career builder for 4 years. I ran the Western region operations, and also helped start Personify, which is a little RPO light that a career builder has. But then I left HR, left human capital, and went into e-commerce. So ended up starting a digital advertising technology that was purchased by eBay, and also worked for Experian. So you might know them as a big data provider. I only mention those seriously because as I was going through those wonderful experiences around e-commerce, I just kept thinking about why this type of technology, right? Why the ease of use that we all come to expect from e-commerce wasn't available in human resources, especially in recruiting, which is where my passion lies. And the answer is simply, it's because we're HR, right? So since there's a $2 trillion e-commerce industry, the money, the investment, the attention went to e-commerce where those big bucks first. But I'm telling you that not just here Finally, but throughout our space now, those technologies, mobile, social, personalization, which I'm going to show you some of that right now, is available today. Okay, so you see I titled this Future Recruiting. I say that because I believe that only about 5% of companies out there are truly taking advantage of all the latest and greatest technologies, and they're getting a leg up. I have the data to kind of prove that. That's why it's the future. It's available today, but for most companies out there, I believe 95%, they're still on their journey towards it. So quickly about Finally, we are a mobile and social technology platform and professional services organization. Okay, so Finally last year bought a professional services company called Bernard Hodes Group. They have a big operation right here in Houston, and some of my colleagues are here out in the space right now. So Bernard Hodes has been around for 42 years, doing media services, doing branding services, creative services, as well as consulting. We purchased them last year, and we're now one company. The reason I mention that is because today I'm not going to talk at all really about what we're doing in our solution and our demos and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to talk to you about that offline. But because of this combination, we have incredible access to data. We have incredible access to customer stories. And I'm going to share with you 5 beliefs that we really sort of come together on in our company based on all that access, right? So Bernard Hodes brought 900 customers with all deep data on their media spend, on their job site performance, on SEO, SEM. We brought another 900 customers from our assessments business, from ATS, from talent community, from CRM, from employee referral. So we've really uncovered some pretty interesting truths or beliefs, and I'd like to share with you today. Great. So that was supposed to be it. Okay. So what is the future of recruiting? Before I get to the beliefs, here's where our beliefs stand, right? And you may or may not think of recruiting in this exact 4 box here, right? But on the right-hand side, you have active seekers. On the left-hand side, you have passive seekers. I hope you all know what those 2 are. And then you have open recs and you have pipelines, right? So everybody has a pretty good grasp on the top right? Everyone in this room, when you have open requisitions, you know how to go out and use your brand, use your career site, use your ATS, and use various media sources in order to engage people who are looking right now, have a conversation with them, get them to take action, and get them into your ATS, right? So you should recognize those logos too. So some great companies are represented there, and they're here today. What our mission is, and how these beliefs feed into this illustration here, is that we're on a mission to help you have individual, personalized conversations with all 4 boxes at the same time, okay? So what about those active seekers who aren't going to go through the applicant tracking system process? How do you move those individuals into an active, automated relationship management system so you can pipeline for the future? And really, just as importantly, the top left, right? So that's when you have open requisitions. I was just at who I believe is one of the most, if not the most innovative oil and gas companies. I just came over there after a 3-hour meeting this morning, one of our biggest customers, our name brand customers. And that's what we talked about, which is going over the data of how we're driving people when you have open requisitions, okay, and capturing them from your own employees, from your employee referrals, from people who applied 6 months ago, people who applied 3 years ago, and from people who are not in your ATS, okay? How can we distribute jobs and keep them aware, keep them warm and engaged, so when you do have an open requisition, you're not relying just in that top right corner. So, belief number 1, you've got 2 options with our classic funnel. And when I say classic, I mean it's going to be the simplest funnel you ever saw in the next slide, right? You can buy more people, or you can connect with the people you've already bought. Okay, by the way, we're one of the largest purchases of media in human capital. Okay, we bought over $200 million worth of media last year on behalf of our clients. So we speak from experience on this point and on the next one too, right? So if you think about, again, a very classic funnel, you can absolutely go and buy more people, get access to more people, and we feel we're as qualified as anyone to go do that based on our 40 years of experience in doing that. But we're actually in the business of putting our media out of business. Okay? We're here to put our media services out of business. And we're doing that because over and over and over we see a 10% capture rate for those who finish the application process to those who initially engage. So I'm not talking about when you start the applicant process to the end, right? So that you might get a 25, 30% from starting the application to completing it, absolutely. I'm talking about every digital interaction that you have with one of your prospects. And all those up top you see there, as well as SEO, SEM, mobile, career fairs, okay, all kinds of interactions. I'm using that as a denominator, okay? So 10% completed applications each month divided into all the touch points that you've had with prospects. What we do over and over and over from on a minimum standpoint is increase that 10% to 40%. Okay? Within about 100 days of doing business with us, you will capture 40% of all the people who are engaging with you. We'll see exactly how we do that shortly here. But that's where the opportunity is, whether you choose finding, you choose a similar solution, that's what we believe the opportunity is. You do need to spend some media, okay, but as I'll show you shortly, we think it doesn't matter as much as capturing the people you've already engaged. 90% of the people that you're speaking to are anonymous to you right now. And that's what we solve for. We want to take that 10% capture rate and turn that into 40 or 50. Right now, our world